Nebuchadnezzar and Jesus, a surprising encounter. Do you know this story? 600 years before Christ in Babylon, a tyrannical king ruled ruthlessly. One day, this king, Nebuchadnezzar, came across Jesus in an event described in the book of Daniel. This story reveals an unexpected encounter between the proud Nebuchadnezzar and the presence of Jesus. Welcome to Daily Biblical History. Today we will explore an inspiring message to strengthen your faith and bring peace to your heart. Leave a like to support our channel and subscribe if you are not already subscribed, so you don't miss any of the motivational content we post here. Nebuchadnezzar, one of the most powerful kings of Babylon, was known for his tyrannical and cruel reign. Ruling with an iron fist, he imposed his rule over the people mercilessly. Nebuchadnezzar did not hesitate to torture those who challenged his authority, using brutal methods to maintain absolute control over his empire. His thirst for power was insatiable, and he sought to expand his reign over all known nations of the time. With boundless pride, he considered himself above all others, demanding worship and submission as proof of loyalty. Thus, Nebuchadnezzar ruled Babylon as a ruthless dictator, feared by his subjects and respected by his enemies. Nebuchadnezzar, in his megalomania and quest to consolidate his absolute power, commissioned the construction of a colossal statue made not only of gold, but adorned with precious stones and glittering ornaments. The statue, which stood at an impressive 90 feet tall, was a symbol of the king's power and authority over his empire. Nebuchadnezzar planned a grand ceremony for the dedication of the statue, calling on all the rulers and leaders of his reign to bow before it in a sign of submission. The statue's imposing size was designed to inspire awe and reverence, demonstrating the king's greatness and self-ascribed divinity. The order was clear. All were to worship the statue or be thrown into a blazing furnace as punishment for disobedience. Nebuchadnezzar, upon establishing his kingdom in Babylon, ordered a group of young Jews, including Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, to be trained to serve in his court as men of knowledge and wisdom. These young men underwent a rigorous process of instruction and preparation to meet the king's requirements. Among them were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, known for their integrity and faithfulness to the God of Israel. The king's summons to worship the golden image represented a direct challenge to the faith of these young men who refused to bow down to any idol. Their decision to remain faithful to the true God in the face of persecution reveals the strength of their character and the depth of their religious conviction. Nebuchadnezzar, enraged by the Hebrew youth's refusal to bow down to the golden statue, orders Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be thrown into the fiery furnace as punishment for defying his authority. The king's soldiers, fearing the intensity of the fire, cautiously approach the youths to carry out the royal order. The flames of the furnace dance around the three men, whose silhouettes stand out against the intense glow of the fire. The scorching heat threatens to consume them even before they are thrown into the abyss of flames. However, something extraordinary happens the moment the soldiers throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the furnace. A divine light bursts forth, enveloping the youths in a protective aura. As they fall into the incandescent fire, an inexplicable calm takes hold of the hearts of the three Hebrews, who feel the comforting presence of God around them. Even faced with imminent death in the raging flames, they remain firm in their unshakable faith, confident in the divine protection that surrounds them. The scene is impressive. While the fire consumes everything around them with insatiable voracity, the three men remain unharmed inside the fiery furnace under the supernatural protection of the Almighty. The scene in the fiery furnace unfolds in a startling manner as the fire consumes everything around it with relentless fury. As Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are thrown into the abyss of flames, an intense light bursts forth from the center of the furnace, enveloping the three young men in a brilliant protective halo. The scorching heat is replaced by a comforting sense of peace and security, as the divine presence manifests itself in an impressive manner. Amidst the dancing flames, a fourth figure appears among the young Hebrews, whose appearance glows with a heavenly aura. The figure is described as a divine being, whose presence exudes power and majesty. Nebuchadnezzar, astonished by the supernatural vision before his eyes, recognizes divine intervention in the lives of the three faithful young men. The atmosphere in the furnace transforms into a heavenly scene where the unwavering faith of the Hebrews is rewarded with divine protection, manifested by the presence of the Son of God among them. Jesus' presence in the furnace not only delivers them from the deadly fire, but also strengthens their faith and testifies to the supernatural power that operates beyond the natural laws of the known world. Jesus' presence in the fiery furnace not only surprised Nebuchadnezzar, but also profoundly impacted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. As the fire roared around them, the divine figure beside the young men emanated an aura of peace and protection. Jesus' presence was tangible, enveloping the three Hebrews in a mantle of supernatural security. Amid the intensity of the flames, they felt an inexplicable calm and an unshakable confidence in the divine power that surrounded them. The furnace, which should have meant certain death, became a place of miracle and revelation of the divine presence. The faith of the young men was strengthened by the manifestation of the Son of God at the most critical moment of their lives, showing that even in the most adverse situations, faithfulness to God is rewarded with his unwavering protection. The revelation of divine power in the fiery furnace profoundly impacted Nebuchadnezzar, who witnessed the miracle before his eyes. Surprised by the presence of Jesus alongside the three young Hebrews, the tyrant king recognized the superiority of the God of the Jews over all the deities he had worshipped until then. With humility and reverence, Nebuchadnezzar proclaimed the greatness of the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, blessing the Almighty for his power and mercy. In an act of contrition and faith, the king issued a decree that commanded respect and worship of the God of the Hebrews throughout his kingdom. Those who dared to challenge divine sovereignty would be severely punished, as established by Nebuchadnezzar himself. Thus, the experience in the furnace not only transformed the lives of the three faithful young men, but also provoked a profound change in the heart of the powerful king of Babylon, who began to exalt the true God as supreme over all other gods. Jesus' presence in the fiery furnace was a moment of divine revelation that transcended the expectations of all present. While the fire voraciously consumed everything around it, a heavenly light illuminated the scene, enveloping Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in a mantle of protection and security. The divine figure beside the young Hebrews emanated an aura of peace and power, demonstrating absolute control over the natural laws of the world. Jesus' presence not only saved them from the deadly fire, but also strengthened their faith and testified to the supernatural power that operates beyond human comprehension. The surprising encounter between Nebuchadnezzar and Jesus revealed the fragility of human pride in the face of divine majesty, transforming a tyrant into a fervent believer in the God of the Hebrews. The experience in the furnace not only marked the lives of the three young believers, but also left an indelible mark on history as a living testimony of divine intervention in the midst of life's adversities. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego inspires us to reflect on the importance of faithfulness to God amid life's adversities. These three young Hebrews faced the challenge of remaining steadfast in their faith, even when faced with the imminent threat of death in the fiery furnace. Their courage and determination in not bowing down to idols represent a powerful example of resilience and loyalty to the true God. By refusing to worship any deity other than the Lord, they demonstrated unshakable trust in God's protection, even when faced with the deadly consequences of their decision. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego teaches us that faithfulness to God is rewarded not only with deliverance from earthly trials, but also with spiritual strengthening and testimony of God's power in our lives. Just as these young men face the fire of the furnace with unwavering faith, we are challenged to maintain our trust in the Lord in all circumstances, knowing that He is with us amid life's storms. As we contemplate the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and the miracle of Jesus' presence in the fiery furnace, we are confronted with the reality that unwavering faith can sustain us even in the most challenging moments. Just as the three young Hebrews faced the fires of persecution with courage and confidence, we are reminded that God is with us in every circumstance of life. The fiery furnace symbolizes the trials and adversities we face, but the divine presence transforms fire into light, fear into courage, and uncertainty into hope. As we remain faithful to the Lord, we can experience His supernatural protection and transformative power. May the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego inspire us to maintain our unwavering faith in the face of life's challenges, trusting that God is able to deliver us from evil and lead us in triumph over the flames that seek to consume us. Share this inspiring message with your friends, like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more biblical content. Thank you for watching. May this story remind us of the importance of unshakable faith in God. Are you enjoying the message? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this motivational word today. And leave your comment. We want to know how this message impacted your life.